Hey everyone, my name is Tori, and today's video is going to be my best of beauty for the year of 2019. So all of these products are products that I either discovered in the year 2019 or used more of, or maybe they came out this year, but all of these were really just like the standout products for me for the entire year. I'm trying to throw in like some newer products that maybe I haven't really spoken about yet that really stood out to me in the year of 2019. So in case you're curious, my shirt does say Bibbidi Bobbidi Bride. Look how cute! So this is a shirt that I bought off of Etsy to wear to Disney World when we got married this past December, and I absolutely love it. And it's kind of one of those weird things because it's a shirt that I love so much, but I feel like I technically can't wear it again because I'm not really a bride anymore, but I don't know. I just wanted to show you. I'll try to find the shop that I bought it from on Etsy and I'll link it down below in case you're interested. But 2019 was the year that I got married, and it'll always be a very special year to me for that reason. So anyway, let's get into the makeup. I have something from almost every category, but not quite every category, but I'll go in the order that I would apply it to my face. So I'm going to start with foundation, and the foundation that stood out to me the most this year, and I actually think was released this year, was the L'Oreal Infallible Freshwear Foundation. I love this foundation. This is just such a great, like, just everyday foundation. I'm normally in the shade 400 Pearl, but I also have a darker shade in this foundation as well, so I can mix them for when I'm like self-tanned or things like that, so I can always match my skin tone. I feel like this foundation is so great for so many different skin concerns and skin types. I can wear this foundation when I'm very oily in the summer. I can also wear it like right now when my skin is a little more dry in the wintertime. I haven't had any issues with this being overly oily or overly drying. I don't necessarily think that it like really controls oil, but I also wouldn't say that it's mattifying, if that makes sense. I feel like it's the perfect like middle of the road foundation. I usually use one pump, maybe 1.5 pumps of this, and I like to apply it with a damp beauty sponge. That's my favorite way to wear it. It also has SPF 25 in it, which is cool. I love foundation that has sunscreen in it. I think that's super awesome. Comes in a glass bottle and it has a pump on it, which is really nice. The only thing that I don't like about it is the fragrance, and I'm pretty sure that it's artificially fragranced. I'm gonna assume that. I'm trying to get away from products that have fragrance in it, which is very difficult to do, and honestly I don't know if I can. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. It's just a thing that I'm trying. We'll see how it goes. But I do love this foundation, but the fragrance is pretty strong. I think it's pretty strong to the extent of like you put it on and normally if a foundation has fragrance, it'll kind of dissipate. But with this foundation, I find that I actually smell it like actively on my face for like a couple of hours after. It goes away eventually, but it does, the fragrance of it does linger quite a while, and it just, I don't like it. I really don't like the fragrance and the smell of this. But other than that, I love it. I've used it with all types of primers, all types of face powders, setting mists, everything. And I can always find a way to make it work for whatever my skin concern is. So this is a really, really great foundation. Would highly recommend it. Along with that is the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. And I think this may have been new this year as well. I have mine in the shade 360 Cashmere, and this is actually my self-tan shade. It's actually maybe a little too light to be my self-tan shade, but this is the only one that I have. I ended up getting this because I needed a darker concealer for my self-tan or spray tan, because I ended up in the same like Ulta trip. I ended up getting the Freshwear foundation in my darker shade, so I wanted to get a concealer that would work with it as well. Once powder is on and bronzer and everything, the shade is okay for me, but I would prefer maybe a shade or two darker for my self-tan. But obviously if I were to buy this for my like normal everyday skin tone, I would need something lighter than this. Besides for all of that, this is really, really good. It looks like Tarte Shape Tape, like straight up. It's got the large doe foot applicator, so it definitely makes like concealing very quick and easy. It reminds me a lot of Tarte Shape Tape. It's really hard to tell them apart, honestly. I think once I run out of Tarte Shape Tape, this might be the only concealer that I buy. This is less expensive than Tarte Shape Tape, and I can afford to get, you know, a couple different shades if I need it, like my self-tan shade and my fair shade, and not break the bank, and, you know, be able to use it up and buy another one without any problem. And you can always find a coupon. So I really love that it's more affordable for me in that way, but it's full coverage. It's not crepey or cakey. At least I found that it hasn't been. I normally set it with my regular Laura Mercier loose translucent setting powder. Haven't had any problems with it. Does really well concealing all over the face as well, like redness, blemishes, things like that. It's a great concealer. This is really, really good. So, and these two together, it's good stuff. So next up, this is not a setting powder, but it's a luminous powder, which is something that I never thought I would like. This is the Jaclyn Cosmetics, or is it Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics? Jaclyn Cosmetics? This is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Luminous Powder. And it's, she called them the Mood Light Powders, but on the bottom it only says Luminous Powder, so I don't know like what the name actually is supposed to be, but it says just Luminous Powder. I have it in the shade Do Me and in the shade Brighten Up, and this one is the shade Do Me, and it's in this really big, just loose powder jar, just like you would see like a large setting powder. It has a sifter in the top as well. And this powder is just, it's beautiful, really. Like really and truly. What I like about it so much is I feel like it's such a natural looking highlight. I don't use it to set my face. I don't use it under my eyes, but I use it as like a, I use it as more like a finishing powder on the high points of my face. So I'll use it on my cheekbones, down like onto the apples of my cheeks. Sometimes I'll take it down my nose. Sometimes I'll take it on my forehead, my chin, and Cupid's bow. So kind of depending on like my stage of oily and if I have texture and things like that, then that kind of depends on like where else I'll put it, but that's usually how I like to wear it. This powder just gives such a beautiful, smooth, just lit from within, beautiful, natural looking glow. And I love that for every day. I layer highlight on top of it, but I've also worn it just by itself, and for me it's been plenty of highlight. Like I could just use this and be fine. So I usually will use the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighting brush. I'll swirl it around and then I'll just kind of I'll apply it in more targeted areas. I haven't necessarily done the whole like a big fluffy brush and like put it everywhere kind of thing. I feel like that's kind of a lot for me since I do have oily combination skin. I don't want that much like additional glow on my face because I don't need it. I do really like both shades that I got. Honestly, I feel like Do Me is a little more highlighty looking because it is a little bit lighter. It's got more of a yellow undertone, but it's lighter on my skin tone. Brighten Up kind of blends into my skin more. So Brighten Up I feel like is more of the finishing powder effect that you can use everywhere. Do Me is a little bit more for me like a highlighty finishing powder, I guess. But I love them because they're just not too intense. They don't look overdone, and they're just beautiful. They wear nicely throughout the day as well. I can't necessarily say that about her other products in this line. If you were considering buying anything from the collection, this is the one. I would definitely get the loose powder over everything else. Speaking of highlighter, I have one more highlighter, and this is from Fenty Beauty, and this is my, oh, I love this highlighter so much. This is the Killawatt Freestyle Highlighter Duo in the shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. And you've seen this before in my products I've hit pan on video. I have used the Lightning Dust side so much. I mean, clearly it's like almost all pan. It's really hard to continue to use it without probably like repressing it. Honestly, I'm not into repressing, so I just kind of do my best with what I can. Once I can't get my brush in it, I'm done. You know, it's fine. I feel like I got my money's worth. I'm happy with it and I'm ready to move on. So that's kind of how I'm starting to feel about this side here. And then my goal was to go ahead and use this other side more often so I could get more use out of it. I love the Lightning Dust side because it is more of a subtle highlight. It reminds me a lot of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting powders, the Jaclyn Luminous, like loose setting powder, luminous powder. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful formula. It's a beautiful highlight. It's so flattering, and you can build it up too. Like you can wear it very sheer, you can build it up. It's gorgeous. And this side is like pretty intense. It has, I don't want to say it has glitter in it because it's not glitter, but it is a more like intense, like shimmer and sheen, and it's definitely, yeah, definitely more intense than the Lightning Dust side. The Fire Crystal is like very, very intense. This highlight lasts all day long. I also just love Fenty. I love the brand. I love what they stand for. I love just what they've done. I feel like they've really came in and like changed the game in the past year, year and a half, 2 years. They're innovative. They're creative. They're all the things, just all the good things. I mean, would we expect anything less from Rihanna? Like, obviously. They have several shades. Any skin tone, you can find your shade, and that's something that I absolutely love about it because I can tell you how much I love this highlight. And if you're like, well, that's not going to work for my skin tone, you can find something in her line in this formula that will work for your skin tone. And I think that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So I love this. I already bought another one. So next up I have 3 eyeshadow type products, and I'm going to start with a palette. This is the Going Coconuts palette from Colourpop, and this came out this year, and actually it came out in the maybe second half of the year. I feel like it still feels like a new release to me. This is just the most gorgeous neutral palette ever. I love it. The inside has a mirror, and here are all of the shades, and I just feel like the formula is fantastic. The mix of colors is great. You get these metallics are gorgeous. I just feel like I can actually use every single color in this palette, and I can create something from like a very, very natural look to something that's like a little more dramatic. I just love it. The tones are just great. I feel like we don't see a lot of like just neutral palettes. I feel like we see a lot of cool tone palettes, we see a lot of warm tone palettes, we see a lot of like, I don't know, just neutral with a pop of blue. Like we've seen a lot of other types of palettes that I feel like are very run of the mill. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, another boring neutral palette, but like, it's not boring. I just feel like it's got such a great balance. You have this great neutral transition shade, and then you've got a deep brown, but you also have some balances of some more warm tones, and you also have like this cool tone down here, and like these beautiful metallics. I just love it. I love it. I feel like it's so well done. Yeah, it's just, this is so good. This is such a good palette. Something I've been reaching for almost every single day. It's just, it's great. I would definitely recommend this palette. It's just, it's a staple palette. It's just something that, it's just, it's so good. It's so good. My next product is actually a single eyeshadow from Colourpop, and this is in the shade the Libra, and this was the little, I bought it as the single, so it came in the special packaging, and on the inside there's the shade. So the Libra was actually a shade that was in the Zodiac palette, which was a collaboration with Kathleenlights. They ended up selling all of the shadows from that palette as singles, so now you could buy like just one shadow without having to buy the entire palette. And I went back and forth so many times on that Zodiac palette, and honestly there were a couple shades in there that I really liked, but I just couldn't see myself using it. I thought it was really pretty, and like I thought it was very different. It was unlike anything I'd seen before. I loved the concept. I thought it was like cute, like the packaging, everything. I loved everything about it. I just didn't think I would use it, so I didn't end up getting it. But I saw Kathleenlights use this shade specifically in a few of her makeup tutorials, and I loved it. Every time she used it, I just thought it was so pretty, and it just seemed like a very just pretty, easy, flattering shade to work with for my skin tone. And it's in like a color range and family and tone that I really like to wear, that I gravitate towards. So I wanted to try it out, and as it turns out, this is like one of my favorite shadows ever. It's just so, it's so easy to use. So the way I like to wear this is just all over my crease, like everywhere, all over everywhere, and then I take it underneath my lash line, and then I'll do some kind of lid color, and that's it. It's so easy, and that's what I did today for work. It was super quick and easy to do, and I just love it. I feel like it's a really flattering tone. This was a shadow that I just used constantly since I got it. I always reach for it. It's just, I feel like it's just so easy to use, and that's why I reach for it all the time. So I'm a little out of order here, but talking about that shadow just reminded me of these, and I completely forgot. These blushes. The Kathleenlights collaboration blushes with Colourpop. These are fantastic, but specifically the shade I Need Space and Lunar has it. These shades are fantastic. These are like the perfect everyday shades for me personally. I love wearing these shades, and especially with the Libra shadow. It takes like all the guesswork out of it. It's like monochromatic look, heaven. She actually said that the I Need Space blush was formulated to basically be the blush version of the Libra eyeshadow. So it's just, it's so easy. You wear this eyeshadow, you wear this blush, done. Like, it's just, it's so complimentary and so pretty. And this eyeshadow is pretty much totally matte. It has kind of a satin finish, but on your eyes it looks pretty matte. The blush is a little more of a satin finish. I don't even want to say luminous because it's not quite luminous, but it's definitely not a matte blush. They're just so complimentary, and these blushes are gorgeous on the skin, and they're just, they're pigmented, but not too pigmented. It's just, they're everything. So I wanted to quickly mention those as well, especially like these together. All day, every day, you know? So the next product I have is a lid topper, like an eyeshadow topper. This is the Kylie Cosmetics Shimmer Eye Glaze in the shade Night Swim. And this reminds me a little bit of the Tarte Chrome Paints, but a little more sheer. So not quite as like pigmented in color. It's a pressed pigment, so when you open it up, it has like one of those little, I don't even know what these are called. Like one of these plastic things that like presses down the pigment to keep it compressed. Mine is in the shade Night Swim, and Night Swim is like kind of a bronzy, taupey, neutral toned like shimmer. It's what I have on my eyes right now, and I don't know if you can like see that sparkle, but it's just like the most beautiful sparkle. It's got like, I don't even want to call it glitter because it's so finely milled, but it is glitter, but it's super, super fine, and it's pretty, it's almost like in a sheer bronzy taupe kind of color. So I feel like it pulls a little more neutral than like a bronze color. On a daily basis, I'm not really into like bronze shimmer on my eyes. I want something that's going to be a little more subtle and not quite as pigmented, and a little more of a neutral color that's maybe a little lighter. I feel like this is like absolutely perfect for everything that I want in like an eyeshadow topper. So my favorite way to wear this is just something in the crease and then this all over the eyelid. Done. It's like the easiest eye look ever, and it looks like you tried really hard and it looks really cool, and the way it catches the light is just so pretty. And every time I wear this, somebody asks me what's on my eyes, so this is definitely like a standout product for me, probably more than almost anything else for this year. They have another one called Ocean Child that's more gold. That's something I might be interested in getting at some point, or maybe just another color, because I feel like this is something that I use so much that I think I would actually enjoy and use another color, like probably in the same color family. Absolutely love this. Formula is great. It's fantastic. Love this product. So let me give you a quick swatch of this in case you're interested. Feels like soft to the touch, almost like a cream. So there's the color right there. So this is the shade Night Swim. So you can see all that really, really fine glitter, and then kind of a more sheer base of color that's kind of that very light bronze color. I'm calling it bronze, but I've also said taupe because in some lightings it pulls a little more neutral than bronze, but I feel like it's probably more accurately a very light bronze. So last things I have here are two lip products, and the first one is by Marc Jacobs, and this is the new Nudes Sheer Gel Lipstick in the shade Understudy. And first of all, I love this packaging. I think it's just so sleek and just like pretty and luxe, and it's heavy and it's just very pretty. This has a really cool closure. It's like magnetic, so it like magnets shut. Just the little things, right? So cool. I love this formula. This formula is just like what it says, a sheer gel. So it's very lightweight. It's very moisturizing. It almost feels like a lip balm, but it has much more pigment to it. This color is kind of a sheer rosy pink. I feel like this color, if it were like a regular traditional lipstick and it was really opaque, I feel like it'd feel more like a bold lip, but because it's a little more sheer, I feel like it's really easy to wear. I mean, it's not like super long lasting, but it's super comfortable, it's hydrating, and every time I wore it, people asked me what was on my lips, and I was really surprised by how much I like this lipstick. My last product is a like lip balm lip gloss. This is by the brand Laneige, and this is the Lip Glowy Balm, and I have mine in the fragrance Grapefruit. I'm pretty sure I have it in Pear, but I don't know where it is. It's probably in a purse somewhere, honestly, because I love it so much. Is it Pear? No, it's Peach. It's Peach. It's just like, it's a clear lip gloss. That's pretty much all it is, but it's scented. It smells like grapefruit. It smells so good. It smells exactly like grapefruit. I'm so weird. I actually don't like grapefruit, but I love the smell of grapefruit. This is super hydrating, lightweight, not sticky. It just makes your lips look nice. They look hydrated. They look healthy. Just all the things. It's just nice. It's just a very basic, really just clear lip gloss that smells good. Really. But it probably has a bunch of things in it that are good for you. I'm not sure, but I really, really like it. It's a great formula, and it's really easy to reapply. This is something that I've worn over lip liners before, just as like a clear gloss. I've also put it on at night as like a lip balm to sleep in. And I also have it in my purse that I just like reapply throughout the day whenever my lips are feeling dry. And I feel like it does a great job hydrating and all the things. Smells great. So this is really great. Would definitely recommend, especially if you like the lip sleeping mask. You need this. Well, that's all I have for my best of beauty for the year 2019. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you had a fantastic 2019, and I hope your 2020 is off to a great start. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.